Thank you very much.
It's a great pleasure to be here. I'm going to speak to you today about something that I've always been quite concerned about in the leadership dimension, and it's called the spotlight of leadership. It's a natural phenomena that any of you in a leadership role actually sit in a literal spotlight. And it's a very simple phenomena. It's a psychological phenomena. It has to do with the fact that the people who work for us look up at us and they scrutinize us. And I like to call it a spotlight because, like a spotlight, it has a certain intensity. And what it does is it magnifies what you say, but also what you do. And what I want to share with you today is the importance of the spotlight, its power, because it's a very powerful thing. It's a bit like radiation. You want to harness it rather than be contaminated by it. What its implications are for each of us as leaders, and then how you and I can actually leverage it to shape the behavior of the people who work with us, but also to shape how they make decisions. Because most of the time, they are not beside us. Think about it. Right now, probably you have quite a number of associates who you lead or work with, and you're here in this room. They're making decisions, they're taking actions in your absence. And what you'd like to do is leave with them guidance, values, behaviors, decision rules that they can act on without your needing to be there. And what all exceptional leaders have figured out is that there is this phenomenon called the spotlight. And if you use it wisely and cleverly, you can actually leverage your presence in your absence. But it's a double-edged spotlight because its scrutiny means that small things will get magnified, and off-the-cuff comments that you meant without really thinking carefully about them could actually harm your credibility. And small actions, which again you didn't think much about, but suddenly they become magnified and stories are told, and before you know it, your credibility and influence as a leader begins to erode. And what I'm going to argue is that most of us in this room have been leading for a long time. Would you take just a quick second and go back as far as you can remember to the earliest age, your first act of leadership. Try to visualize what you were doing and the actual age you were. Now, how many were able to go back to an age below 10? How many of you were able to go back to an age below 15? So now we've captured almost all the room. So let's take an activity that you've been doing for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and what happens to your attention to it? Well, I'm going to argue it becomes background. And the minute it becomes background, you're in trouble. Because what you want to do is bring it to the foreground. And what I hope to do is remind you of this as we talk about the spotlight of leadership. Because you are in the foreground, as I am right now. I'm in a spotlight, and you are every day as a leader in a spotlight. And again, what we want to do is leverage its power, because it's a really remarkable phenomena that you can harness as a leader. Now, the first question you might ask yourself is, why do our associates put us in this light? Why do they pay more attention to us? They're watching you, and the reason they're watching you is for some positive reasons. One, you're a model. Some of them say, you know, I'd love to get to her role one day. I'd love to be like her. And so I'm going to watch what she does, and I'm going to learn from her, and I'm going to model her. And maybe one day I can be as effective. So a very positive reason why you're in the spotlight. A second positive reason is they believe you're in control. They actually think you know what's going on. And so they're paying a lot of attention to, well, should we all go to the right or should we all go to the left? And what's the right decision we should take in this situation? What's the right decision we should take in that situation? So two very positive reasons why we're getting more attention than we probably wish we were getting. And then some less positive reasons. One, we like our leaders to be human.